This storm will kill you.
Look! I'm telling you! You know what I mean, folks?
But if rich people aren't looking out for us, who is?
It makes no difference which one of us you vote for. Either way, your planet is doomed.
You're listening to the Our Take Podcast with Brian Sherman.
He had a full head, all the way till the end. It was white, and I was hoping to get that. I was hoping to get, like, the full head, and it was really hard to cut it off.
And Spencer Rogers.
To be a good pilot, you have to be able to make good decisions, and I know what my credit score is, so I know I don't make good decisions.
This is the Our Take Podcast.
From Scary Parrot Media Studios in Ogden, Utah, it's the Our Take Podcast, episode 154.
Yes.
I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer.
It's June the 27th. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. On this day in history, Yugoslav troops invade Slovenia.
Oh.
The attack, which marked the beginning of the 10-day war, which was actually 14 days long.
Well, why do they call it the 10-day war then?
I don't know if it was.
Oh, okay.
Followed Slovenia's declaration of independence. It was the first of the Yugoslav wars, a number of ethnic conflicts leading to the breakup of Yugoslavia and resulting in at least 140,000 deaths. Wow.
In 10 days?
Yeah, 1991.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a pretty horrific war.
A conflict we stayed out of, I guess.
Yeah,
Wasn't there
way
like
more deaths if we were in it?
In the early 90s, there were a couple of Eastern European, like Bosnia. We went to Bosnia, Black Hawk Down.
Oh, yeah. No, that wasn't. Bosnia isn't Black Hawk Down.
It's not?
Black Hawk Down is an African country that's escaping me right now.
I gotta know now. I gotta know now. Black Hawk Down, famine in southern Somalia. Somalia.
There we go.
Yes. But that was a Bosnia. It was like right around there.
Wait, where is Bosnia?
Eastern Europe.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, I'm not right around there physically. I mean, like right around the time.
Like, as New York is to California, yes, I suppose it is right around there.
The Bosnian conflict was an international armed conflict that took place in Bosnia and Herzegovina between 92 and 95. Yeah.
I do remember that being a big thing with Clinton.
Yeah, for sure. Also on this day in history, in 1986, the 1980s U.S. intervention of Nicaragua is declared illegal. The International Court of Justice condemned the U.S. paramilitary campaign to overthrow the left-wing Nicaraguan government. You don't say.
Huh.
The Social Democratic Sandinistas had begun to redistribute the country's wealth and improve education. And America went in there and said, fuck you, capitalism is much better, we want the rich to rule. Listen, this is my point. Anytime that you've seen a legit socialist state, not a dictatorship socialist state,
right?
But a legit socialist state fail, it's because the U.S. has intervened to try and stop it. And then 30 years later, we're like, look what happened to Cuba. We didn't have anything to do with their failure.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Nope.
In 1972, Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney found Atari Inc. Bushnell. Is that the same guy who makes binoculars? I wonder if he's the same guy. The pioneering video game and home computer company produced arcade classics like the two-dimensional tennis simulator Pong. Especially in the 70s and 80s, its products had a large impact in the electronic and entertainment industry. Sure.
Huh.
You ever seen the movie Moby Dick?
There's a movie?
I did not know that either, but on this day in history in 1956, it premiered.
Huh. I did not know. I had no idea.
John Huston's adaptation of Herman Melville's homonymous. Why do they use that word? Novel. It means it's the same name.
Right.
While not having been a great box office success, it's today considered an outstanding work, especially for its use of light and color, which most films do not use. They don't use light and color.
I was like,
And in 1954, on June 27th, the world's first nuclear power plant is activated. Ironically enough, we talked about this last time.
No, we did.
The reactor at Obninsk in present-day Russia remained in operation for 48 years. Today, there are some 400 atomic power plants worldwide.
We're getting one here soon, I think.
Yeah.
That's the word on the street.
Highly dangerous nuclear waste. They're controversial because of it.
Yeah.
What was I going to look up? Bushnell. What was that guy's name again?
Oh, to see if he was Nolan Bushnell? See if it was the binoculars guy? Is that what you said?
Yeah. He's an American businessman and electrical engineer. He established Atari and the Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theater chain.
What?
This guy invented Chuck E. Cheese and Atari. Made for kids. He was born in Clearfield, Utah.
Really?
He's a Mormon. He attended Davis High School, where I went. How come I didn't learn about this guy?
This guy, this Nolan Bushnell guy.
Yeah.
He created Chuck E. Cheese
And Atari. Yeah.
and he's from here. Like,
Yeah.
We're in Clearfield right now. Technically, are we not?
Yeah, Clinton. Yeah.
we could be in his house.
I mean, we're in Ogden.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Let's see. He was a Mormon in his youth. By the time of his first divorce, he had forgone the teachings, often being called I haven't heard this term before, lapsed Mormon.
Oh.
Quote unquote.
Is that a new one?
That's fairly. I've never heard.
Or is it
that.
old?
I've never
We've
heard
moved on. A lapsed Mormon.
I just did a control.
That's a good band name.
Yes. I just did a Command F in his wiki for binoculars and didn't pull up, so I don't think he's not the binocs guy. But he did make Atari, which might be.
How come I didn't know? I feel like that's something as a Utahn.
For sure, we should know.
I would know.
Yeah.
I just called myself a Utahn. That's weird. I don't think I've ever done that before.
That's true, because you're not, technically.
Well, I have lived here as long as I lived in Texas. I am, though, today sporting a Dallas Stars jersey.
Yeah.
Because-
Full-on Texan.
Because to represent my heritage.
And your high-vis job.
My high visibility. I know. They do not look this high visibility green on the internet.
No, it looks almost white in the camera.
Oh, does it?
They're it's bright. Like it
in
hurts my
person,
eyes.
it's pretty much neon green. But yeah,
Yeah. So you think you're a Utah now?
I guess I am.
Well-
20 years I've lived here.
Technically, it only matters if you're born here.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
that doesn't even matter anymore.
I thought it was just
today.
if you were. I don't know.
As of today.
Oh, weird. I still can't believe I've lived here 20 years. You know what? My plan was to move here and for 4 months or a semester and then go back to Texas.
Yep.
And then 20 years later, and for some reason my whole family lives here now.
That is weird that your whole family followed you.
I know.
Yeah.
It is weird. You know why? You don't want to know the real reason why my mom decided to move here or decided to pick up and move here is because my sister went to a swim camp here at BYU.
Yeah.
Because she was a swimmer in high school.
Yeah.
And she met a boy, and she totally convinced my mom to move here because of that boy.
Wow.
Who she never really talked to again.
Do you think the Mormon thing had anything to do with it?
Well,
like-
we visited Utah a lot, and we have relatives here.
Okay.
I mean, I personally went to, especially for youth, like 4 times here at BYU.
Yes. Known as EFY.
Yeah.
I never went to EFY or Trek. If you don't know what Trek is,
Trek, I think, is a spit in the face to the pioneers.
oh, it totally is.
It's a spit in the
giant
face.
fuck you.
Because if the pioneers were here today and they said, you have
Wait.
air conditioning, you have food,
gotta-
and you do what?
we got to tell people what it is.
Okay.
So here's what it is. In late 1840s, the Mormon pioneers trekked across the country from Missouri to Salt Lake City. Many of them died.
Many
It's
of
at the
them.
same time as the Gold Rush, so there was a lot of pioneers
And
going.
the Oregon Trail. It was
California
a
and
whole
Oregon.
thing.
It's a whole
Yeah,
thing.
It wasn't just the Mormons.
You've
but
heard
yeah.
of the pioneers, right? So what Mormons do now, though, is send their youth on a 3 or 5 day
It's
quote.
not, this you're making it sound like it's like part of the religion. It's not part of the religion. It's just something they do here in Utah specifically.
It might be a Utah specific thing, but it is 100%.
We definitely didn't have it in Texas.
It's 100% sanctioned by the church, though. This is not.
it?
Oh yes, this is not outside.
I don't know.
This is organized
like
with.
I said, we didn't have it in Texas.
This is organized within the church. Like it's a calling. If you're an adult.
Oh, it is?
If you're-
Oh, it's
yeah.
right, because Ethan was called to be
Yes.
the medic.
Yes. If you're the church asks you to be if you're an adult to be what's called a ma or a pa, and then the kids in the ward or neighborhood, it's called a ward,
Right.
are put into family units where they pull hand carts.
Right.
As the pioneers did for 3 to 5 days on the same trails that the pioneers used
Right.
to get a real life. And every year someone dies from a horse that goes out of control, a hand cart got away from someone, whatever it is.
Dysentery.
Yeah, dysentery, consumption. Yeah. So I never
Native
did Shrek.
Americans.
Yeah, there's they
The
mimic.
church actually pays Navajos, the
Yeah.
tribes there, to come and shoot arrows at him. It's
Right.
crazy.
They're trying to simulate. If you haven't ever heard of the Mountain Meadows Massacre,
oh my God.
then they're trying to simulate that, but it always goes awry.
Yeah.
And the natives win. So anyway, that's Trek. And EFY.
But
is,
do you get like, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. If you don't go on Trek, are you looked
down upon?
frowned? Is it like, oh,
I don't
you
know.
didn't go? Because
It started when I was a teenager.
I didn't get that impression, but
It started when I was a teenager, and so somehow I was able to conveniently avoid it.
oh,
I don't think I would have gone anyway. However, I say that now. I did go snow caving twice as a Boy Scout, why did I go a second time?
I don't know.
The first time was unbelievably
I
miserable.
don't know.
Me and my
I
buddy.
mean, I went to scout camp every year and I hated it.
Well, scout
so-
camp was fun. We went to we
Not in
didn't
Texas.
organize it.
Not when it's 100 degrees and
No, yeah.
1,000% humidity.
We went to in Texas. We went to Spirit Lake. It was an unorganized camp, and it was great.
yeah.
Snow caving though. Me and my buddy Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever dug a snow cave?
I know.
It's pretty straightforward. You dig straight down
Mm-hmm.
for like a foot or two, and then you dig in,
Right.
and then you carve out your roof.
Okay.
Takes a lot of effort though.
What if it caves in?
Then you die,
Okay.
which happens.
Right.
No, it doesn't. You light some candles in there because it melts the snow and creates an ice shell. The science is sound.
Okay. I believe you.
But the first time we did it, I mean, we're young. We're like 14, 13, right? And me and Mike are digging a snow cave by ourselves. Like the leaders would come around and inspect, but they didn't help.
Right. No.
It was literally our sleeping bags right next to each other, and the ceiling was within 5 inches.
This all sounds terrible.
It's terrible.
and extremely claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Just awful.
It was like 5-6 inches from our face, sleeping. And they're like, the next year, they're like, we're going snow caving. And for some reason, I said yes.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
It was terrible. The second year was a little bit better. We dug a much better snow cave till someone punched through the roof, which you can't do in a snow cave. It ruins it.
Right.
So we had to
It's no longer a snow cave. It's a snow.
It'd be so cold.
It's
so
a chimney.
We put a tarp over it and then packed snow on the tarp, kind of sealed it. Anyway, it still wasn't fun. Anyway, that's snow caving. Then there's Trek. And then Spencer went to EFY. Explain EFY.
EFY was just a. It was actually really boring when you think about it, because you just go to classes. You go to church classes and you talk about church stuff.
But it's only
But there's
youth.
there's dances and there's
Stands for especially for youth, right?
yeah. No, it's special youth only. I went to a different one.
It was just me and a bunch of men.
SEFY special, especially for youth. But yeah, you wake up in the morning, you go to breakfast. It's kind of cool. It's sort of cool because you stayed in a dorm.
Yeah.
So it was your first time as a 13-year-old being away from home,
Right.
staying in a college dorm, and then you go to at the time was the Cannon Center, which was the cafeteria, the freshmen and everybody use at BYU, and there's a buffet of food there. You eat whatever you want, and then you go to a what do I call it?
It's like a
keynote, essentially in the morning.
Devotional.
But there's a like a main speaker there the whole week, like a main leader. And one of the years, our main guy was Brad Wilcox.
Brad Wilcox, that guy that's famous right now in Mormon culture.
Yeah,
This kind of an
I have
asshole.
a picture with me and Brad Wilcox.
He's been around that long, like in the ranks.
Yeah. So like Brad Wilcox, John By the Way, those kind of famous Mormon famous people, not famous.
I mean, By the Way did okay as an author, just generally, right?
Yeah, I think so. People
Yeah.
tend to like By the Way.
Wilcox is just
he's kind of
a cock.
He's kind of
but yeah.
said a few things that people rub people the wrong way.
Yeah,
but,
that's way off. Yeah. I don't even know how we got on this Trek.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
I don't know.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah, and then you just go to these breakout classes. It's essentially like going to a like a your work conference. You know, when
Right.
you go to a sales conference, or when I go to an e-learning conference, you do the breakout sessions, and
But
then you
it's-
get back together, have dinner, and then you have a dance or some sort of activity at night.
And it's just youth, like ages 12 to
Yeah.
17,
Yeah.
basically telling you the dangers of sex and masturbation
Yes.
the whole time.
Yes.
So,
Essentially, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
You'll go blind. But in our opinion, Trek is just a huge slap in the face.
I think it's just a huge slap in the face of the pioneers.
They already did it. They did it for us.
For us.
Yeah.
Okay. I almost made it. Never mind.
Were you going to make a concentration camp joke?
No. I was not.
Yeah. I don't get it. People who go on it, they do
I
come
mean,
back saying
you
they
don't
liked it.
see people having, crucifixions every year. Jesus died for our sins.
We do though.
We don't have.
There's people who do that.
Well,
not they don't really die.
Well, yeah.
They don't really nail that. Well, maybe
Well,
someone
I don't
does.
know, man.
Yeah, that's possible. But every Easter, I see plenty of videos of people carrying crosses.
That's true. I think there's a guy that does it at Delta Center whenever there's hockey games and stuff. He just walks around with a giant cross.
With a cross. Yeah. Bleeding from every pore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying, good on you for going and sweating and having a miserable time in Trek, but no thanks.
No, I'm glad I never did it.
I do wish I remember what started this conversation.
Yeah. I really have. I can't. I'm lost there. We were talking about Bosnia, Black Hawk Down.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other day, I, as you know, I have a dog currently that
Yep.
lives in my house. His name is Doug, and I take him out between 3 and 4 times a day to use the facilities, and I don't notice a lot of poop in my yard, which is good,
But
right?
that means
Well, I started to think. I was like, I wonder what the average poop rate is, or
for a dog.
decay time. What the
Oh.
average poop decay time is
I don't think it decays.
versus poo. So I
did you know I got a minor in anthropology.
right.
Did you know we've found poop? Like
Oh, I
ancient
have heard. Yeah.
coprolites, ancient
Yeah.
poop.
Yeah.
Not petrified like dinosaur poop, but like in caves.
Ew.
It doesn't-
Oh, it's because of the temperature, though.
It doesn't really go away.
Well,
I mean, if it
you have
rains on
if you
it
have a
and stuff,
constant temperature in a cave, I could see it.
yeah.
But when you're exposed to the elements,
I don't know. It's just
well,
waste.
I kind of made like I asked Chat GPT,
Yeah, of course.
and it kind of made a math equation
Here's the math of it.
because apparently it takes around 90 days on average for a piece of dog poop to disintegrate.
Notwithstanding weather, just
There's variables.
if you put it in a
I
jar.
didn't have it solved for any of the variables. This is just on average. What are we looking at here?
Right.
90 days, a piece of poop disintegrates, and I was like, okay. So if the dog, because Doug only poops 1 time a day, he only takes 1 dump. If my dog poops 365 times a year, on average, how many poops are in my yard?
Well, you don't even have to do that math. If he poops once a day and it takes 90 days, you would have 90 poops.
No,
you would have a rolling 90 poops.
It's 63.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, wait, sorry. No, hold on. I gave you the wrong number.
Oh.
I gave you the wrong number. It takes 9 weeks, not 90
yeah,
days.
63.
63 days.
So yeah, you'd have a rolling 63 days.
Yeah.
So if it's a poop every day, you'd have 63 poops in various stages.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are 63 poops in my yard at any given time.
Yeah.
Now, that's notwithstanding all the cat poop that's currently in my yard.
You got a lot of cat shit.
And I have no idea, but I can't
difference-
imagine that it's a low amount.
Oh, and the difference between dogs and cats, though, is cats typically go in the same spot.
And they bury it.
Yeah.
I see them out there all the time.
They shuffle their feet.
I've got to get rid of these freaking cats.
I told you.
They are driving me absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
Every time I open the door, they're trying to get in. I actually have a water bottle now, a spray bottle, by the door so that I can open it and spray. I've got to get rid of these cats. If anybody wants a cat, I've got.
I will
literally
vouch.
20 cats, and most of them are friendly.
I will vouch that they are very friendly, cute cats. So if you do want a cat,
I have. They're all at various stages of life.
Yeah.
I have kitten to 2 years old.
Yeah.
Probably.
While I feel sorry for you, I also feel very validated in that I've been warning you about this for at least 6 or 7 months.
Oh, no, I know. They now that Cat Lady's gone, I think I'm gonna have to start taking him to I don't know how it works. Can I just take a cat to the pound and be like, I don't want this cat? And can I take 20 cats to the pound and be like, hey, I don't want these 20 cats?
I don't know. You have to Google it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe some listener knows.
I have a feeling that if you called the city
doesn't care. We've already discovered the city's like, yeah, they're your cats.
Yeah, they don't care. And even if they did care, they would probably just euthanize them.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. I want them all to die. They're all nice cats.
Yeah.
Not all of them. Some of them can die.
But I don't know, man. You brought this on yourself.
I know.
Started feeding them.
I know. I can't. I've got too many birds, too many cats, and a dog.
Well,
I just can't.
There's an ongoing pet adoption sponsored by the Arctic Podcast
Seriously.
at Spencer's house
I should
in Ogden.
Put up a sign.
Free cats.
Take a cat. Do not leave a cat.
Yeah, no, this isn't take a penny, leave a penny.
This is take a cat, period.
You know what? We adopted a cat once when I was a kid
Yeah.
from a grocery store parking lot.
Oh.
Someone had a box with free cats. We picked up our cat Portia and brought it to the car to look at him for a minute and drove away.
Was it? See, I would do that, but do people want them to be neutered? Because I haven't neutered all these cats. I can't afford that.
Just a disclaimer.
This cat has balls.
You don't have to do any paperwork or no shit. You put a box. I'm not saying you leave the box. You go to the grocery store with a box and a sign, free cats.
Set up like next to the Girl Scouts.
Because you're going to run into a problem here.
Yeah.
As they get older, people don't want older cats.
That's true.
They want kittens.
They want kittens, but I have...
Because kitten guarantees that you can make sure they're domesticated fully.
Right.
You get an older cat that's been living outside for 2 years, you don't want that cat.
Right.
I mean, you could take the cat home. Chances are that cat's going to come back to your house. Like you could do an experiment.
Take a cat. Do not leave a cat.
Put an AirTag collar on one of your cats.
Right.
Go drop it off 2 miles away on the east bench.
Uh-huh.
It'll find its way back to your house.
You think?
Guaranteed.
I have an AirTag.
Guaranteed.
And I actually have a cat collar that will have an AirTag.
I would put $100 on it, which would be a really fucking fun thing to do. I don't know if it's entirely ethical.
I'm trying to think if there's any of the cats that I'd be okay doing that to.
Right. It's not entirely ethical, and it might be a bit dangerous for them. You don't want them to get hit by a car.
The streets of Ogden.
No, not that. The cars.
Right.
I don't think they're going to get shot. I think they're going to get run over.
That's the first place you go.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to get mugged or anything.
They might get stabbed. if they're up on Jackson, listen. Stay away from Jackson and 24th.
That cat has a $30 AirTag attached to it. All right, that cat is getting mugged.
That's a good point. You can't put an AirTag. You got to hide that shit. Plenty of Ogdenites who would fucking steal that AirTag.
That cat shows up at my house. I'm like, why the hell is my cat in Farmington?
Right. Yeah, it's on the freeway. Yeah, no, I guarantee you that cat. If it's old enough and been being fed at your house for a year, I bet you it would come back.
Oh,
it would find its way back. I mean, my cats have disappeared before. Wilson ran away a bunch of times.
Yeah,
and he was gone for like 2 days at a time, and I was devastated.
Right.
But he always came back.
Yeah, I've had him do that before.
He looked a little disheveled.
A lot of them don't come back though. I've had 2 or 3.
I've never had a cat
kind of vanish. And I can only hope. I can only hope that someone was like, "I'll adopt this cat."
Right. And they cut that AirTag off, and
yeah, that's the only thing I can hope for.
We could put a little GoPro
I actually would love to do
It'd be
that.
one hell of an experiment.
I would love to do that because I'd love to see what these cats do during the day.
Have you seen those TikTok guys?
I
There's
have.
people who do that with their cats.
I have. I should. You know, I might do that.
Yep.
Just to see what they're doing all day.
You could do
They're
a
probably just
listen
sitting around
within your neighborhood,
begging for food.
right? Within
Right.
your neighborhood. This is the same as the mice. I maintain it was the same mouse. You could take the cat 3 blocks away, 4
Right.
blocks away. I guarantee it'll find its way back.
Oh, I'm sure it would. Blocks away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it's a bigger circle. They'll find their way.
But what if we take the box of cats to like,
Logan?
yeah. or something.
Like an hour away?
Yeah.
I still think
They do Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey.
I think they'd find their way. If, like I said, as long as if they don't get killed, they'll find their way back. You've never, Homeward Bound, great example.
The Incredible Journey. Maybe I'll save this for when Danny's here. But we talked about. Well, maybe we'll just bring it up again. I got to find it here in my chat. You know what I suggested to ChatGPT today is that they come up with a way for you to pin your conversations to the top of your
chat history.
Your chat history, because I'm over here trying to find.
Couldn't you just ask it? Hey, will you bring up the conversation we were having about this?
Yeah, but I want all the info. But a few months ago, actually it was last year, we did. We brought up our urinal.
Yeah.
Diagram, our animation that we
theory.
did, the bathroom theory.
Yeah.
And
which, if you don't know what that is, go to our TikTok. I think it's it's one of our pinned videos.
it's a pin video because it has
a diagram of
4.5 million views.
of all the shit we've talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That
all,
means, hey, 4.5 million people have seen us and heard us talk. Not everyone can say that.
No, that's true.
Or at least, I don't know how many were repeats, but.
Yeah. We did get a lot of saves, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, but last, Brian brought up an interesting variable.
Yeah, so this is the theory about where in a men's bathroom, if a urinal is occupied, which urinal?
That's when you.
Which urinal should you go to
Urinal. That's when you have a urn that doubles
as a urinal?
Yeah.
And I believe that the original bathroom theory was
That's how I want to go.
which stall you should go to. There's all sorts of
I want
weird.
my ashes built into a
They're
urinal.
built into a urinal. Yeah. There's all sorts of rules, unspoken rules about leaving a space in between urinals. Don't go into the stall nearest the urinals. All this stuff. But the variable I added, which is, let's say you're at a bank of 3 urinals, and someone's occupied the one on the far left. You should, by the rules of society, go to the one on the far right, leaving
Right.
an unoccupied urinal in between.
Right.
But what happens when you walk up to that urinal and someone has taken a shit in it?
Right.
Does that change the rule, or do you have to urinate on the shit, or do you have to go into a stall? What would you do? So it was just an interesting variable.
Again, I consulted with ChatGPT about this,
Yeah.
and I asked it the initial question, and it comes back and says, the classic urinal etiquette.
Etiquette.
We're all struggling
It's
today.
just
Etiquette and
Urinals.
And ChatGPT answered correctly. It said you should go to the farthest one away.
Sure.
Because if you don't, you might be looked at as a crazy person.
Right.
Because what kind of a serial killer
Yeah.
starts peeing next to you? That person obviously is going to kill you, right?
I mean, there is a difference of opinion here, which is, let's say you're at a bank of 3, and the far left and the far right are occupied.
Well, that's
Some people wouldn't. I have seen
Really?
some people wait,
really
which is crazy to me.
no. Because like,
They will leave the center urinal
well, what do you do?
unoccupied.
Well, what do you do then when you're at Delta Center, the hockey game?
That's different.
and you've got
That's different when there's,
people
like, 10
lined
yeah,
up behind
yeah.
you. You're like, I can't. I gotta
Go ahead.
Go ahead. And you just
It's never been in that case. It's more like, not a very busy bathroom.
Like, what do? You get on your phone, take a pretend phone call. Hey, Jerry, I'm in the bathroom. Yeah. No, sell those stocks. Sell. I gotta go, Dave.
I know I've seen people wait. I feel like I have.
Good on them.
Maybe.
But then I asked ChatGPT the variable question, and it says, now we're entering what fresh hell is this territory. This is what it said. If you walk into a men's room and see the far right stall is occupied and then discover the far left stall has an unflushed or messy poop situation, you have two choices. Take the middle stall, breaking the code. You violate the unspoken urinal rule. But hey, hygiene trumps etiquette. It's not ideal, but better than standing in a stink cloud. Mm-hmm. This is all what AI is telling me, by the way. Wait it out or find another restroom. But it did forget the third option, which is say, oh, shit, oh, just fuck. This gross. Somebody shit in this urinal.
Yeah. You make a scene.
And then go.
Yep.
To. So I asked it, well, what does it say psychologically about a person and the choice they make?
Yeah.
And it asked me, oh, well, what choice would you make? And I said that's what I would do. I said I would probably make a
scene,
a noise, and like an audible, oh, gross, and then go to the middle stall. And then it says, here's what it says about me psychologically.
I mean, ChatGPT already knows you.
I know.
It just built a profile, but based on this conversation, it now knows because of you.
So it says, I'm self-aware but pragmatic. You recognize the grossness and acknowledge it out loud, which is a natural emotional release. Like but then you still do the practical thing and use the middle stall because you got to pee. I'm comfortable breaking small social norms when needed. That's my autism.
Yeah.
When you're aware of the guy code around urinal spacing, but you're not a prisoner to it. Mm-hmm. That shows confidence and emotional flexibility.
Listen, it's just glazing at this point. Like, come on. Tell us the shit. Tell us the real shit. Like, you happen to also be a major neurotic, paranoid.
The conclusion, you're emotionally honest, responsibly hygienic, and not so uptight that a little toilet weirdness will derail you. Basically, normal guy, solid instincts, socially aware, but not a slave to the code.
Not a slave to the code.
Yeah.
There's a band name.
It's a band name right there. What would you do?
I like yours.
Same?
I like nasty.
Gross.
Yeah. Somebody shit in this urinal.
Yeah. So if you're out there, and let us know what you would do, and then I will plug it into ChatGPT and find out what that says about you.
We'll develop a personality test from this, and we'll give it to Stanford. It's not a bad idea.
We have the color code, and then we have the shit in a urinal test.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be added to the. What's the one that's like?
If I'm ever in a position to hire people,
yeah. What's that one? The 16 personalities.
In the job interview, I'm like, I'm asking all the questions. I'm like, okay, let me throw you one here. Say that you're. They tell me their answer, and I'm just typing.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give them a thing like the personalities. You're an INTP shitter. You're an INTP avoid shitting. It just adds to the.
Oh, man.
I love personality tests, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
Did you ever do color code?
Oh, yeah. I did them all.
You're red, yeah?
I don't remember.
You're red.
You're red.
No, I'm white.
You fucking dick.
I'm white. Yeah, you're red.
Only around you.
You're probably red yellow. I'm white yellow.
I don't remember.
You should do that one.
There's so many,
I like
though.
that one.
Like the 16 personalities, I think, is the most famous.
Is it?
It has like the 4 letters. You're like the 4 letters,
Oh, I haven't done that one.
ENTJ or an INFJ or HJBJ, whatever.
Oh, man. Let me ask you a question. On our way over here,
Yeah.
I saw a panhandler. Panhandler?
Panhandler.
Is it panhandle? Because he's holding out a panhandle.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You can just call him a beggar. if you want.
Sure.
Yeah.
That sounds so like Bible, like something Jesus would say.
Well, we should have given money to him then.
Blessed be the panhandlers.
Yeah, there's frequently panhandlers on that street corner, 40th and 40th and Riverdale.
I thought to myself, hey, that would be a great way to earn extra money to go to hockey games.
Yeah.
Is panhandling. And I could even have a sign that says,
Trying to get to the hockey game.
yeah, money for hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think I'd make any money?
Yes. Yeah.
Like-
maybe not with a money for hockey sign. Maybe you'd get some ironic donations.
Right?
Yeah.
But do you think if I smeared some mud on my face and
Homeless
brought
and
my
wanna-
birds out and
yeah.
dug with me that I might...
Like if you put like homeless veteran wanting to go to the hockey game. You got disabled. Homeless disabled veteran.
and have the dog in like a cast.
Yeah.
Right.
MAGA 24.
And a couple cats?
If you had cats.
You think cats would help?
Yeah. Listen. Yeah. Panhandlers make money. Yeah.
What? How much do you think?
I don't know. I've never asked one. I don't know if they'd be honest if you did, right? Like
Right.
if you were handing him a 5 and you're like, but hang on a sec, how much you made today? You know? And he's
What's your gross annual income?
yeah, I made $1,200
What was
today.
your tax return like
Yeah.
last year?
But I do know my dad was a therapist
Uh-huh.
and he worked with people who panhandled rather than getting a job. And
Right.
They were capable. That's why they were in therapy. And they
yeah.
basically,
They could pay for therapy.
yeah, basically just said, why would I work when I could do this? And the gist of it is shame. Like they have no. I'm not saying all panhandlers have no shame. I'm not
Right.
generalizing. I'm saying panhandlers who do it as a job when they're capable of working a normal job, quote unquote, just don't have any shame about it and don't really care.
I'm just trying to decide if these people are geniuses or the scum of the earth.
They might have a bit of like an antisocial trait where they just don't care. So it's not necessarily that they're bad or good. They just don't care. But I'll also tell you another reason why I think panhandlers make money.
Huh.
Well, I don't know. Just hear me out.
Okay.
When I was 20,
Mm-hmm.
I served a service mission doing genealogy
Right.
in Salt Lake City for the church. And on our first day there of orientation, they warned us they had fucking brochures, like pamphlets.
Really?
About, and I usually tell this story to talk about how ironic it is
Right.
that a Christian denomination is warning its missionaries to not give to beggars when that's basically all Jesus said to do.
Right. That's true.
So I usually tell the story for that reason. But clearly they must have had some sort of evidence. And there were a lot of panhandlers in Salt Lake at the time. There was before City Creek Mall was there was the ZCMI Center Mall.
Right.
I don't know if it was just more conducive. There were more steps to sit on. There were more homeless down there,
Yeah.
more beggars.
Right.
And maybe they might not have been homeless. But my point being that the church went to lengths to warn us with pamphlets. A graphic designer, had to put together a brochure and print factoids.
What are you working on, Dave?
I'm trying to convince people to not give to the poor.
Right.
That's what I'm doing here. You know, if only they gave that money to the church, we could finally crest that $100 billion mark.
Right.
So anyway, I do think that panhandlers make a decent sum of money. That is not to say that you shouldn't give to them.
Especially if they're holding up signs that say
Yeah.
for hockey.
Yeah. I frequently will give food rather
Right.
than money.
Right. Yeah, you just told me a story how you went and got water for a bunch of people. And
They
once
weren't-
again, you're just so much more of an altruist than me because I would never do that.
Listen, so those people were not begging.
Right.
Those were legitimate home. You got to watch your language. here.
Unhoused.
Unhoused. Well, I was going to say legitimately homeless, but I don't know if the panhandlers
Right.
aren't legitimately
Right,
homeless.
right.
They could be. No, I drove by one of our homeless shelters in Ogden, the Lantern House, on the hottest day of the year, and I felt bad. So me and Ashley went and grabbed some water and gave it to him.
I just wish that I was a better person sometimes.
I mean, you go buy a case of water for $5.
I can afford it. You know how many hockey games that is? None, but
It's none, but it's a part of one.
but that's a fourth of parking. Okay.
Yeah, I know. the Lantern House is great. It's big, and I think they take care of as many people as they can. But I think during the day they don't let them come inside as much, and so they were out on the sidewalk getting in what shade there was available.
Well, if they're not coming inside, where? Oh,
going
oh
inside.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
I just give to panhandlers, you fucking cheapskates. Just give them some
Wait,
money.
You know what? I never have cash. That's my
That's
legitimate
fair.
excuse.
I usually don't either.
I never have cash ever. Like never.
But
I don't.
If there's anything in your car, just here's what stops people from giving. The same thing that stops people from begging, I think, is the same function of the brain that stops them from giving. Because you might look in your little ashtray and be like, well, he's not going to want a quarter. You know?
4 quarters makes $1.
You're right.
And $1 makes, well, used to make a McDouble, but now it's like $3 or something.
Point is, whatever it is, just give it to him. You don't need it. It's the same conversation we had last week, but about tipping. You know?
Right.
Like, yeah, it's stupid to tip the guy at the counter at Cafe Rio, but it's like, I don't know. Do I give the guy $1? I don't care.
Right.
You know? What's the difference?
I have been tipping better lately than I used to. I mean, I've never been a bad tipper,
Well,
but I have upped my standard amount.
you should, because driving for Uber, tipping karma.
Right. No, yeah.
Tipping karma is real.
No, for sure. For sure. My standard tip for for most things was well, it depends on the size of the order, but normally it's around $3. I've upped it to 5 to 7 depending on the order.
When we worked at Domino's, we never worked together, but we worked there at the same time.
Right.
In different locations. In, what was that, 2007-ish to
Yeah.
2009-ish. I tracked every tip I got.
Yeah.
Just for the pure nerdy science.
Huh.
And I put them in Excel.
You really did?
I did, yeah. I just wanted to see what was the average tip over time.
What was it?
Because I also wanted to know how much money am I making hourly here.
I figured it always ended up only being like $10 an hour after everything, even though some days you'd make...
Depending on the shift you worked, I think
Right.
I averaged at the time, I averaged 12.
Nice.
The average tip was a little over $3, but that was 18 years ago.
Oh, that's sad.
So I got pizza the other night. I tipped $8.
Wow.
I tipped her $8 to drive to my house with the food. I know that might be kind of high now, but
That's good, though.
$3 was the average almost 2 decades ago.
Well,
So it should have gone up.
so the minimum wage was also hasn't changed.
Hasn't
Can you
changed at
believe
all.
that?
No.
That's crazy.
That's so stupid.
How is that not like? No, does anyone even pay minimum wage anymore? Like,
Oh,
how
yeah.
could you even attract anyone to work for $7 an hour?
So pizza delivery guys are paid less than minimum wage.
Well,
Servers,
they weren't when we were there.
Servers, they made the change when I was there.
Yeah.
The way it works at Domino's, actually, I don't know if it still does. The way it worked was when you were in the store, you got paid minimum wage. As soon as you clocked out to go on a delivery, your wage reduced.
I quit about that time.
Yeah.
Because we used to just make minimum wage straight.
Yep. I think servers in Utah only make $2 an hour.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Tell me about car shopping.
Oh, well, my Nissan Xterra
Uh-huh.
wouldn't start
Yeah.
in the theater parking lot couple weeks ago.
Right.
So I got a guy who let me use his trailer to tow it to his house. He's a mechanic on the side.
Mm-hmm.
He's a jet mechanic, actually, at Hill Air Force Base.
Oh, really?
But he works on cars.
Well, your car's not a freaking F-35.
It's true.
Does he know what he's doing?
He doesn't know.
He's like, I can't get the turbine in the igniter to start.
I'm pretty sure you're out of jet
I'm
fuel.
at full thrust and nothing's happening.
I don't see your ejector seat anywhere. Did you fucking use the ejector seat?
I've been pressing the button and your seat's not ejecting. We got a big problem here,
Got a
man.
Big problem. Anyway, so he first narrowed it down to what's called the park neutral switch, which is hooked to your transmission.
Also part of the F-35
Yes.
mainframe.
Tells the computer rather that the car is in park or neutral so it can start.
Right.
So that's why it wouldn't start.
Right.
And then he fixed that so the car would start, but then it wouldn't shift. It's stuck in what I've seen on forums called limp mode, where it's like in
No.
yeah. It's in like third gear permanently.
I have been stuck in that since I turned 40.
So it just stays in like third or fourth gear. So very, very slow to start. Still drives. But he couldn't figure it out. He's like, I've found this on a forum and some people are replacing the transmission, which I'm not going to do.
Right.
It's a 2005 Xterra, right? And he's like, some people replace the valve box, which is a part I don't know. I was like, whatever, man, I'll just come pick it up. Maybe I'll junk it out, right? But it keeps blowing this automatic transmission fuse, which if you're blowing a fuse is usually because there's a ground.
Right.
There's a wire grounding out somewhere.
Right.
And I don't know why he didn't think of it. And I even texted him that. I said, when he had the car, I said, I think that maybe you...
Because it's not an airplane.
It's not an airplane. So it's at the shop now. But in the meantime, I've been shopping for cars. Does anybody like it?
Like shopping for
Does
cars?
anybody like shopping for cars?
I mean, it's fun to do it until you actually have to like...
Sure. I'll give you that. It's fun to look at cars online.
Right.
Until you need one.
Right. Are you
I just like
new or used, or what are you doing?
I'm going used. You know, I bought a new car a few years ago.
Right.
And it is awesome to have a new car.
It is. It's really great.
It's really good. Almost worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It is almost worth $500 a month
Mm-hmm.
to never have to worry about it.
Right.
Right? Like I leased that car. It's not a car I would have kept past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Kia Sorento.
Right.
But it was very nice for those first 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Almost worth it.
Yeah.
I'm very close to doing that again because I've had nothing but car headaches for the past 6 months. You
Right.
know,
Right.
I had my other car wouldn't pass inspection.
Right.
Anyway, so I found a couple cars from private sellers. There's a dealership in Kaysville that does. They only buy hail damaged cars.
Oh, okay.
Some are totaled, so they're branded
Right.
titles.
Right.
Others are just have dimples and
Mm-hmm.
they're not branded titles.
Right.
So they have some good deals.
Right.
Right? And so I was like, okay, I like those. It's a little bit more than I really want to spend.
Because how are they? So the totaled ones, they're just. I've seen a totaled hail damaged car, and I know that they look.
They look ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I don't care
But
if it runs.
how much? Like, how big of a discount are we talking here? Like, these cars are brand new, except for.
They're not brand new.
So because in Texas they'd have hail
They're-
damage sales, where you get a brand new car for.
Yeah. For
cheap.
example, I think some of the cars I saw. Well, so here's one I know that was non-branded.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Honda Accord, 2018, I think.
Oh, okay.
Book on them was like 24, 23.
Wow.
And the hail damaged one, non-branded title, was for sale for 18.
Oh, okay.
Right? So you get some dimples on the hood,
Right.
whatever. The branded ones were a little bit more than that, a little bit more off,
Mm-hmm.
which they should be. So I was like, well, before I do that, before I go to a dealership, let me see if there's any private party. That's how I found the Xterra.
Right.
Plug in the specs in whatever KSL classifieds. And I find a couple, like a Pathfinder, a Maxima.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why Nissan. I wasn't looking for a Nissan, but that was the two that were for sale, right? And so I'm like, okay, I schedule some test drives and we go out, get in the first one's the Pathfinder. It's a nice car. And the guy's right in the back seat with us. He didn't want to just let us go. It's fine.
That's fair.
And as we're driving, he's like, oh, and by the way, you know it's a rebuilt title. And I was like, I did not know that. God damn it. He's like, oh, it was in the listing. And I looked, Ashley pulled up the listing, and it is, but it's kind of like, it's kind of buried. Yeah. And I had been looking at all these at this dealership, and so I was looking for the word branded or salvage.
Right.
And he put rebuilt, which is a
Right.
correct term. It's just
It
not
is.
the one I was looking
Yeah.
for. So he's selling it for like $9,000.
What's your opposition to the rebuilt title?
Well, first, you can resell's tough.
Right.
It's very tough. And second, some insurance companies are weird about it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, it's not the worst thing in the world. So he's selling it for $9,000. We're waiting to see if they can get the Xterra fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And then my plan is I'm going to offer him I'm going to lowball him. I'm going to offer him like $6,500 for it.
Ooh.
Because I don't think he took any off for it being rebuilt. Like the book on it is like $95.
Oh.
Like that's a little high.
Yeah, for
They're a little high.
rebuilt titles are
He's a
supposed
little
to be
high.
dirt cheap.
And he admitted to me in the car, he's like, and probably needs new brakes.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So branded title, new brakes, or rebuilt title, new brakes. I'll give you 65. We'll see what he says. He also let slip that he's had the listing active for a while, and he's really close to just selling it to Carvana.
Oh.
It's like, well, Carvana's only going to give him like $5,000.
Yeah.
So then we go to the Maxima that I found.
Right.
Same thing.
Really?
I missed it. I missed it in the listing. I was like, fuck,
What
man.
is it about the like?
I don't know. It was probably
What
the
is
filters.
it that you're looking for that is so specific?
So I
Is
think
it the mileage?
I think the thing that I put on there was like less than 100,000 miles and less than 15. I think were the filters I had on. So I get it. They're gonna be on there.
Right.
But I thought that I looked at them. I looked at so many fucking cars. So I just hate it. I'm very, very close.
Just go
to
get yourself a Honda.
getting a new car.
Go
again
get
and
yourself a new lease yourself a Civic or a
Well,
RAV4 or something.
I've seen a few 0% offers.
Oh yeah.
Which is not something I've seen in years.
right.
That's how I got my Corolla back in the day.
Right.
0% car loans, and I'm hoping that that's like a sign of interest rates generally coming down.
I hope so.
Because 0% car was, but even then, these cars are so fucking expensive, man.
I know my car's still worth like 16,000,
Yeah.
which to me, and I bought it for 18 or 20, I can't remember.
Even a 0% with like $5,000 down, you're still at like $500 a month.
Yeah, I think that's just.
I don't like it.
I am throughout my history of buying cars, I have always paid off a car and then bought something else.
Bought a new one. Yeah.
That's not happening anymore.
It's so nice.
I have decided that I am going to drive this car
It's gonna run forever
into
too.
the ground.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't drive it because I don't go anywhere because I work from home. But
that car will last you another 15 years.
I think so. I think so.
You got a Civic. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just. You always feel like you're getting fucked, right?
Right.
At a dealer, but then there's certain benefits to a dealer in terms of kind of an insurance of that they bad publicity, like they kind of want to do the right thing
Right.
if something does go wrong.
Right.
I've been completely hosed by a private seller before.
Oh, really?
I bought a Lancer back in the day
Oh.
from a private seller. Good deal. Really good deal. It was about an hour away from the house. And I'm on the freeway coming back, and the check engine light comes on.
Oh.
And they had pulled the battery terminals off and put them back on to reset it.
Oh.
It didn't tell me. I called and let them have it, but there's nothing I can do. You buy
Right.
it as is. So I took it to a mechanic I know. This is a long time ago. And it was a bad catalytic converter. And in a Lancer, there's two.
Oh.
There's one that's like $100 to fix. And then there's one that's like $1,200 to fix.
Oh.
And so they did that knowingly. Cute little Mormon couple completely fucked me over.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy.
Crazy.
Well, yeah, because when you sell it to a dealership, they normally go over it.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
they repair some of it.
Yes, for sure. Well, they have
They
to
don't
get it to
typically
pass.
like flip it around.
Most dealerships have to get used cars to pass inspection before they sell them.
Right.
I mean, they should, an
Right.
emissions inspection and their own inspection because they want return customers.
Right. Right.
So that's the downside of buying from a private party is
Yeah, I don't know if I'd buy anything over like $2,000 or $3,000 from a private party.
It's scary. It's scary for sure. Yeah, that's why Carfax is around.
Let me ask you about this. So the Birthright citizenship
Oh man,
has just come up.
I've been trying so. I reset my TikTok algorithm.
Yeah,
it
'cause-
was fucking nothing but ICE kidnapping people.
Yeah,
that was my whole
I
algorithm.
don't know what you were looking at, but because we don't share a TikTok, but he uses the
we should. Brian and Spencer.
Yeah, I know. He uses the podcast one,
yeah, the
and I
podcast
have
is
access to it to post videos.
Yeah.
And sometimes I accidentally forget to change it back to mine.
Yeah.
You had some far right-wing
Oh.
stuff on there.
Not only far right wing stuff, but then just so many videos of ICE. Which, by the way, who the fuck are these guys? Have you seen any of these videos?
Why are they wearing masks? How is that allowed?
First of all, I kind of understand the masks.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
don't want to get doxxed. I don't like it, but I understand it.
Right.
But what I don't understand is these are fucking bounty hunters. They're not in uniform.
Right.
Most of them don't have badges. I don't know who the fuck these guys are. Listen to me. This is why it's reset my algorithm. I get all fucking worked up. I don't know who these people are. No one does. I left a message for Mike Lee.
Oh, man. Did you see the billboard in Utah County?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so awesome. I love it.
But I left him a message about this issue. If you guys don't understand, ICE is deputizing some people.
Right.
I don't know if they're corrections officers because they have some purview there. I don't know if they're just January 6th pardonees. I don't know if they're just people who are racist. There's reports that they're just being paid per head, like legitimate bounty hunters.
Wow.
To pick up brown people. The videos are very alarming.
They are.
They're not. These are ununiformed people. These are people in civilian clothes, in civilian cars, picking up brown people with no paperwork. They're not addressing any of the people who are recording them. They're not answering any questions. They're stuffing them into a civilian car and listen, sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. They look like Nazis.
Yeah, they do.
They look it's Gestapo shit.
It is.
Birthright citizenship, though.
It's very scary.
Kind of in the same vein. So here's the AP article. A united conservative majority against the Supreme Court ruled Friday that federal judges lack the authority to grant nationwide injunctions. So what's happening is Trump signed an executive order on his first day ending birthright citizenship.
Right,
which is
he
in the
can do.
Constitution. Right? So a federal judge blocked it. The Trump administration sued, saying one federal judge in a random jurisdiction should not be allowed to block a presidential order in the whole country.
Right.
And the Supreme Court today agreed with him.
Right.
What they did not say is that whether or not he can end birthright citizenship.
Right.
That is yet to be argued.
Right. Because he can't, because it's in the Constitution.
So that will probably make its way through the court. Right?
Mm-hmm. So weird.
So.
Well, my question to you on the way over was, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know if
yeah.
I mean,
I understand the initial gut reaction to,
like, I don't know if you should be able to come across the border.
No, listen,
squeeze out a kid and then have that kid just be a citizen.
Ask it as flippantly as you want.
I mean, that's what I mean, though.
It's fine. It's fine.
And
the question I have for you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the 5 whys. I'm gonna ask you why. Why do you not think someone should be allowed to do that?
I don't know. I guess it doesn't hurt me.
Yeah.
So, but for some reason, to me, it just feels.
You got to be at least able to answer why at least one time. Otherwise, it's just some sort of kind of American exceptionalist vibe. Right. So this feeling that we have some position to privilege here that other people should not be granted. Right?
Yeah.
So if someone can give me a legitimate reason as to why, I'm very willing to admit that I'm pro amnesty.
Yeah.
Right? And for anybody out there rolling their eyes, the last president to grant amnesty to illegal aliens, including Mexicans, Ronald Reagan.
Oh.
Ronald Reagan said, if you're here now.
Ronald
Great.
Reagan's like Republican Jesus.
Now people forget that he did that. Now he locked down the border afterward, but he said, if you're here, great. Come get a Social Security card or whatever he did.
Right.
Last president to grant amnesty was the Republican Jesus. Right? But if you can't answer why you care, like why does it matter if someone comes across and has a child and that child is now a citizen? We don't let the parents stay.
Right. Well, don't we though?
No. So Trump's been deporting those people.
So the baby just stays by itself?
No, they usually take the baby with them.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought they then were afforded other privileges and rights, like being able to stay with the kid.
And that wasn't Trump. I don't know who got rid of. It was. Remember, you might remember this term, anchor baby.
I do remember that.
Yeah. When did anchor babies?
When was that? Was that last Trump?
No,
Trump
it was
part one?
before that. Concept of anchor
Was it Obama?
babies. I can't remember. Let's see. A stalled deportation against the parents, but it's definitely not now, right? But even then, let's say two people who love each other and want to build a life, swim across the Rio Grande, have a child. The child's a citizen.
Right.
Those people are probably working to pay for food for said child. Why not? Why do we care? Right? We're getting so hung up on the whether or not we should deport them that no one's asking, like, why do we even care? How does it hurt you? No, not you. This is just generally. How does it hurt you to have people here who are just trying to earn a living for their family?
I don't have a response.
I don't really understand it. It is very clear to me that white Americans will not do the jobs that brown immigrants will do.
Right. Not for minimum wage.
No. And sometimes not at all.
Right.
And I have yet to see an argument against that. Plenty of construction projects in Florida right now just completely stalled because they have no workers.
Right. I know. Yeah, I've heard that.
So that brings up another argument, which is, do we enjoy treating people that way? Like, should we be treating people that way in America? Should we be paying them such shitty wages, do such shitty jobs? That's a different argument, right? That's a totally different argument. And if you're going to go down that road, or that we should kick them out and pay white people to do it, cost of everything's going to go up.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
But none of that's really even relevant to this question of, should a child born here have citizenship? And when people are like, no, I don't think they deserve it. Well, deserve what? Why? What's the difference? What does it do to you? How does it affect you? How does this negatively impact you in any way to have a child who's born here become a citizen? How does it negatively impact you to have DACA children or dreamers here who were brought here as children? Why get rid of them?
I wonder why I'm more sympathetic towards DACA than I am towards...
That's good. It's a good thing you should analyze in yourself.
I'll have it out with ChatGPT later. We'll go over it.
Man, listen, ChatGPT might be able to give you some actual pragmatic pros and cons.
Oh, it can.
Right?
I asked it why I feel. I asked it why I feel like I don't trust Russians, or like I find Russians disingenuous is what I asked it. Because like we have Russian hockey players and I want to like them, but I feel like when they say I love Utah and I love that, something feels disingenuous about it. And I asked, do you think it's just because of the way that they're portrayed and everything?
Yes.
Or is it part of their culture, or what's the deal? And it let me have it.
Good. Definitely. Listen, we're all victims of the propaganda machine.
Right.
All of us. Right? Like there's no escaping it. Like, we've been taught to hate Russia. We've been taught to hate North Korea. We've been taught to hate Iran.
Oh, yeah,
right?
By the way, we attacked Iran between episodes.
That's great, huh? No, and even the arguments that people do pose either aren't necessarily true or could be solved with amnesty. I'll give you an example. We don't want to give them free health care. Mm-hmm. That's a bad faith argument because it's not happening.
Right.
We don't offer free health care to undocumented immigrants. Right? Mm-hmm. It's not something we do. Now, anybody, here's the counterpoint to that. Anybody can walk into an emergency room and get treated.
Right.
And you don't have to provide a social security number. Even as a white American, you could go in there and not give them a social security number and they still have to treat you. Mm-hmm. Now, they can't bill you because you didn't give them any information. But it's just one of the glues of society. Absolutely. They cannot kick you. If you're being treated, they can kick you out eventually if they believe you're stable. But if you walk in there with a broken femur, they have to treat you.
Man, I'm never giving them anything then.
Yeah. No, it's just one of those like societal glues that like, I'm not going to lie to this. Because it's usually like a 21-year-old girl who's walking in with a little laptop. Here to gather your insurance information, Mr. Sherman. Mm-hmm. What's your social? Fuck you. Like, nobody's going to do that, right? Maybe a panhandler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to give you my social, but I really need to go to more hockey games,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to do that.
But it could be solved the way that Reagan solved it.
Amnesty?
Amnesty. Everybody line up. Here's your new Social Security card. Here's your new Social Security. You can even fingerprint them right then. Fingerprint them. Got your prints, got your prints, got your prints. You commit a crime, you're out. Right? Or you go to jail. But now you've got a Social Security number. Now it won't be sketchy for employers to hire you because you've got a number.
Your taxes are paid.
Now you're paying taxes. It's amnesty is what we did before this.
Right.
I want you to think about Ellis Island and think about the Statue of Liberty. This is what we did.
Bring us here hungry and except for
all we did
brown
was
people.
offer amnesty, and
Only
now
if you're white.
people are convinced that we're out of room. They've convinced themselves of that.
That argument is so weird because have you ever driven anywhere?
I'll tell you why how that argument falls flat, especially among the conservative right.
Mm-hmm.
Trump wants to pay people to have children. Yeah. Wait a second, I thought we were fucking full.
Right.
I thought there were too many people here.
Right.
Isn't that the reason you want to get rid of the Browns?
The Browns.
Well, no, but Christian white people need to have more babies. We don't have enough of them. We need to have more workers. But you don't want those workers?
Yeah.
No, all these arguments fall flat. All of them do. Right? Like, you could easily, if there was a conservative out there that's like, no, Utah's too crowded. We don't have enough housing. Kind of the Mike Lee argument about selling off lands, right? Okay, so you disagree with Trump's subsidizing of children then, right?
Right.
Of paying them to have kids?
Right.
Well, no, I mean,
I know.
we got to have more kids.
It's pretty easy to trap people into their
So no, I
racism.
don't have a problem with birthright citizenship. I don't have a problem with amnesty because as much as I've tried to analyze it in my own life personally, I can't see how it negatively impacts me in any way. I don't see it. So
That was beautiful. We haven't had a good political conversation in a while.
We've avoided the news
Yeah.
a lot because it's very depressing.
Yeah, it's
So
never really good.
This ruling
Everything's expensive.
This ruling is disappointing. But like I said, it was just a ruling against the injunctions, which, the constitutionality of injunctions, I don't really understand. When the Constitution was written, we had 13 little colonies. We didn't have almost 400 million people spread across the whole sea to shining sea.
It's just funny, right?
So I don't know.
It's
I don't
supposed
know.
to be a living document.
I agree that the president, in theory, should have more power than a federal judge, who he appointed.
Right.
I agree. But
Checks and balances.
checks and balances, right? So I don't know. I haven't read the brief. I don't know what
Right.
or the decision. I don't know what the court laid out. All they said is judges can't create injunctions that apply nationally. The birthright citizenship is still going to make its way all the way to the court. And really all this means now is when President Trump issues an executive order, rather than the ACLU or whatever group going to one federal district, they'll just go to all of them now.
Right.
So all it did was create more work.
Right.
So now we'll have, 20 judges and 17 of them agree. And so that injunction will apply in those 17 districts or whatever, however many they are, So
It's just going to get more complicated.
it already is. It already is very complicated, and it's supposed to be. That's the check and balance.
Right.
Right? So
I mean, yeah. It's
Yeah.
in the Constitution, and changing the is next to impossible.
it's very hard.
So
It's very hard.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost as hard as impeaching a
Yeah.
president.
Almost as hard as getting rid of 20 cats.
Yeah. Did you read any more about the crash?
Not really.
The pilot's seat. This is the Air India crash.
Yeah.
The pilot's seat slid back. And when he tried to correct it, he pulled the throttle down. And the co-pilot, because of something with the pilot's hands, the co-pilot was unable to re-engage the throttle.
That's really what happened?
That's really what happened.
How come I haven't heard about this?
Air India pilot seat. Now here we go. Well, let me find a more reputable.
Why was the rat deployed?
I don't know. Let's see.
I told you they had bad pilots.
Okay, none of these are super reputable. Well, I mean, I don't know. Here's
You
Daily
mean
Post.
My Joy Online isn't reputable?
Here's Daily Post Nigeria. A faulty locking mechanism in the captain's seat caused the Boeing crash. Pilot seat unexpectedly slid backward during takeoff. I'm assuming he said this on the black box.
Right.
Causing the captain to unintentionally pull the throttle levers to idle. The sudden power loss resulted in a stall.
You know, you've done that before. Oh! Just pull everything back with you.
Investigators noted the co-pilot's efforts to recover the aircraft were hindered by the captain's reclined position, which I don't really understand, but I also am not familiar with a cockpit.
Call it a flight deck now?
Flight deck. Cockpit data confirmed the seat shift occurred 12 seconds into takeoff, followed by the aircraft stalling at just 200. I mean, even if he got that throttle re-engaged, would they have made it?
That's the thing about jets is there's a spool up time.
Yeah.
It's there's not instant power. You have when you no
200 feet is nothing.
No, you wouldn't.
If it was like
that, actually makes if that's what happened, it actually makes a ton of sense.
Because that's what it looked like.
Right.
Yeah. Because I mean, even if he went like down and straight back up,
it might. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
you have to play with
it.
Play with it on your flight simulator.
That's a good idea. But there is that is something that is very obnoxious about flying jets. Is that like on a prop plane? When I was flying planes, if I was in trouble, I hit the throttle and I'm up immediately.
Right.
Like there's immediate power.
But it's like,
because it's a piston plane. It's just like your car, right?
It's basically instantaneous speed on the propeller.
Imagine you're in your car and you're at a red light and you press the gas pedal and your car has to vroom, 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 vroom,
Yeah.
vroom, 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 vroom,
Like
and
limp
then
mode.
you go. Yeah, essentially, right? And so it's unless you're in a fighter jet where you've got afterburner that you can kick in and just which obviously they don't have.
But even then, like when you watch
spool
them, even when you watch a jet on an aircraft carrier, they spool all the way up and it takes a while before they take off.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm surprised you didn't hear about it. The pilot's seat. What a fucking...
Reuters isn't saying that, so
that's true.
I'm going to wait for...
I agree that it's not on any reputable domestic or Western news source. So I don't know how reputable...
Right now, from 22 hours ago, Reuters is saying that they have the black box and it's being analyzed.
Gotcha. So we'll see. But it makes sense. Like you said, you watch the video. It's kind of what it looks like.
If that's what happened, and then maybe they just deployed the rat to hopefully maybe do something, but I don't know.
I mean, it's possible it's possible that he didn't just hit the throttle. If he was flailing about in there.
Just hit all the buttons.
Yeah, he hit all the buttons. Yeah.
Oh man.
Crazy,
if
right?
that's what happened, that is terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Secret sound. We got secret sound and random headlines.
Yeah. Okay, we're doing secret sound different now, though. Rather than reveal the secret sound on the show, we're going to play it here.
Right.
People listening to the podcast will have a little bit of a leg up.
Right.
And then we're going to post it to TikTok. And the first person to answer correctly gets a free Our Take Podcast t-shirt, or we can bring back the old SBNF shitballs and fuck t-shirts.
Right. Whatever you want.
I still have a bunch designed. We'll throw them on your Etsy shop, and we'll give people
whatever you want.
Whatever you want. We'll give you some podcast swag. Okay, so let me make sure this volume is up here. You got my little sound?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why do I keep forgetting that?
Here is Brian Sherman's Secret Sound.
What's going on out there?
Here it is. That's it playing twice, right? So it's...
Are you just smashing a keyboard?
Yeah. My MacBook keyboard is broken at home. Here it is 2 more times. Oh, sorry. Here you go.
Is it a duck? Do you have a duck in the house? Is it a duck running across the floor?
It does sound like a duck.
Or one of my birds?
There it is, people.
Huh.
Listen, you can email me too if we don't get this to TikTok first.
Right.
OurTakePod@gmail.com. Submit your guesses. If not, go to TikTok and be the first to comment the right answer. And We'll get you some podcast
I
swag.
want to know what it is.
And we'll tag you in the reveal video so you can get some TikTok love if you want it, right? Some people like to see their likes. They get the little dopamine, you know? Look at those likes go up.
We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you these random headlines.
Oh, man. Do you think that
Yes.
the urinal is a viable business plan?
I mean, listen, people,
Urinal?
I've seen people put ashes into trees, into lockets, make them into rocks. Why not mix it into the porcelain of a tall man urinal?
I want my ashes to be made into a porcelain urinal and put in the Delta Center. Let the record show.
I've come across jewelry made from cum.
Yeah, I was hoping you weren't
So-
going there, but yeah, that's.
I have some.
Well, that's all I wear. Obviously, my watch band, semen, all of it.
All semen. Yeah, mine.
Yeah, of course.
Spencer's watch band is mine. I have a workbench at home where I dry it into a fine dust.
That's a thing, though. Don't
totally a thing.
Do not look that up because it is real. And
Just be very selective with your words. You know, if you just type in like,
or do.
if
I
you
don't
type
know.
in like
You
cum
look it
ring,
up.
you might get something worse. If you type in like semen jewelry,
right,
you'll
find it.
You'll find something else.
And that's exactly what they do.
Yeah, they do. They dry
grind
it
into a
out.
powder.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so weird, man.
yeah.
People are weird.
They make you cum in a cup. They help you though. So I've been told.
They don't just give you a magazine. They it's a full service.
Yeah.
All right. Czech police say they have detained 3 suspects who allegedly treated patients in a fake dental clinic without a proper license or professional training. Police in a statement Wednesday said dozens of people visited the clinic after the family of 3 opened it at their home in the town of...
This clinic is just in someone's house. What a great idea.
I am not even going to... The name of this town is Havli. No, I with a squiggly, C with a...
I got a
with a
screen
down
share.
arrow, KU with a degree sign.
I got it. It does. Here it is. Havlikuk.
Havlicok.
Look, I put it on the
Broad.
screen share
Yeah.
so people can see it.
Yeah. Some 100 kilometers southeast of Prague 2 years ago, the trio made 4 million Czech koruna, $185,000 in our monies, before they were detained earlier this month.
That's a decent pull.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
The 3 have pleaded guilty to charges including running an illegal business, attempted bodily harm, stealing and illegal production and handling of narcotics, psychotropic substances, and poison. They face up to 8 years in prison.
You know what? Hang on. We read over these charges one more time. Attempted bodily harm. That means they were doing good dental work.
They seemed like they were doing a good job. How did they pull this off?
It's what does it say here? He consulted the internet to do procedures. Imagine your dentist.
Oh, looks like you've got a cavity. Let me
Type that into ChatGPT.
let me pull up chat real quick
Yeah.
and see what we can find. Oh, gosh. Police say the 22-year-old son consulted the internet to do the procedures, including extractions, while his 50-year-old mother, a nurse by profession,
Okay. All right.
worked as his assistant and provided materials. The 44-year-old father made prosthetic devices. The regional Denic newspaper said the clinic was reported by a dentist who was approached by a patient who suffered from complications. I went to this dentist at a house, doc, and now my mouth hurts. It feels like someone fisted me.
I told him to pull
put
out
the whole fist in there and just pulled my teeth
He's
out.
supposed to pull this tooth and he pulled out that tooth.
Oh my gosh.
How bad would your dental work have to be for you to go to a new dentist for the same problem? Like if you went to a dentist and he gave you a root canal.
If I went to my next door neighbor's house and my mouth hurt after, I would probably go immediately.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know how things work in the Czech Republic. Maybe that's
I don't
maybe
know.
that's normal.
$185,000. Not bad.
We're doing it wrong. You know what? Panhandling and fake dentistry is where the money's at.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Will perform dental procedures for hockey money.
Yeah. Oh, A Rhode Island animal rescue group is seeking a new home for a 20-year-old parrot with a vocabulary politely described as R-rated. The Forever Paws Animal Shelter in Fall River said on social media that the bird named Hendrix came from a home where he was not being fed proper food, so he is mostly naked as a result of malnutrition. Hendrix's feathers are slowly growing back after being put on a healthier diet, but the Post warned the parrot has one other issue. If you adopt Hendrix, you're basically adopting Samuel L. Jackson. The rescue explained Hendrix's vocabulary is largely made up of curse words and slurs.
That's awesome.
Sometimes when you give him something, he'll say thank you. If you call him a pretty bird, he'll say thank you. He'll say good morning, baby. And that's as far as the niceties go, said Chantel Rogers, an administrative assistant at Forever Paws. The rest of it is slurs, curses, things that I cannot repeat on camera.
Could they let the parrot say them on camera, you think?
That is a really good freaking question.
Good workaround.
That's a really good question.
Yeah. I do see on his belly that he's got some missing feathers.
Yes, looks like he had a plucking problem.
Looks better, though.
The social media post was empathetic in its disclaimer. The bird is R-rated, parental advisory required, a real Sour Patch Kid if one side was sugar and the other side was arsenic, officials wrote. Despite the potty-mouthed bird ill manners, the rescue has already received 50 adoption applications and is now in the process of choosing his forever home. Of course, because who wouldn't want a bird that was just foul-mouthed? That would be so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, someone walks into your house and the bird's just like, fuck you.
Right.
Like,
what if you're getting burglarized?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah.
I think it'd be better if you taught it to say things like, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Yeah. Samuel L. Jackson
I'm going to
on
bite
him.
your toes off.
Yeah.
I'm going to bite your toes off.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
That would be awesome.
That'd be so good.
A fireball that streaked across the sky over Georgia was identified as a large meteor, and a piece of the space debris crashed through a roof home.
I saw this, and I would give anything
To have it,
Yeah.
and then you could make cum jewelry out of it. Yeah. The meteor was spotted shortly after noon on Thursday in the sky over Georgia, and the sightings were reported from as far away as Tennessee and the Carolinas.
Those people are lying.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I saw it. The news is on the phone.
No, you're saying it wrong. It's I seen it.
I seen it.
The American Meteor Society described the meteor as a bolide, a particularly large and bright meteor that provides or creates a sonic boom as it falls. Henry County Emergency Management reported a piece of the meteorite struck a home in McDonough, punching a hole through the roof. No injuries were reported.
Like there was one in Ogden a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, they were still looking for it, weren't they?
How cool would it be to find a meteor?
That would be super awesome because it would be from millions of miles away.
Yeah.
Who knows the history?
Who knows? So cool.
It could be an alien.
It's up there with your swastikas.
What?
Who knows where they came from?
Oh, my flags.
Yeah.
Taken out of context.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have flags.
He's got some. Listen, his grandpa fought the Germans.
Yeah. Stormed the beaches.
And brought some flags home. Spencer doesn't collect swastikas, nor does he fly them.
Well, let's not go that far.
Let's just clarify.
Just like the color red, white, and black. It's just great color combination.
Good match. Yeah, I like right angles.
One more. Severe weather that swept through Indianapolis left something unusual in its wake, a mysterious dome-shaped object. Residents in the area of 19th Street and North Pasadena Street said the dome was spotted in the road after the storm swept through the area.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. The strange structure drew crowds of onlookers on Wednesday. Our sidewalks out here has become a tourist attraction, said resident Sandy Jones. Some neighbors suggest the object could be a radome, a structure designed to protect satellite antenna and other delicate equipment from weather, which is what I think it is.
But the weather put it there?
I guess maybe it's
a tornado?
It's a lot light. Well, maybe it's not like super heavy. Maybe it's made of like
it looks like
carbon fiber or something.
It looks like aluminum or steel. I don't know.
An employee at V2X Technology, located near Pasadena Street at the site formerly occupied by Raytheon, said the object appeared to be a radome from the business. So it's probably from It's
But how
probably
did it
from
get there?
Raytheon.
Did it say it was a tornado?
No, it just said severe weather, but it probably was something. You know, they did have some tornadoes the other day in Indiana, and they had some pretty crazy straight line winds. So
What if they lift this up and there's a kid in there?
that's true.
It just landed right over him and
That's
he's in
true.
there sleeping.
Oh my God,
They should probably check.
they probably should.
Yeah. The first thing you should do is tip that over if you
I
see
know.
it. Yeah. Don't just this is crazy. This is kind of a weird story,
It is.
right? That's a big dome. Like
If that was out in my neighborhood, I would assume somebody stole it. But
we'll put this on TikTok, but did it say how tall? It's got to be like 15 feet tall.
no, so there's a Kia Sorento right next to it,
Wait, am I looking at the same pic? Oh, there it is. There's
and
with the Kia.
it's like about the same size as the car,
But taller.
But taller, yeah.
It's almost twice as tall. Yeah, it looks like something they would find on Lost.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we'll put this one up on.
Maybe
on
it's an
TikTok.
alien spacecraft. I don't know. Hard to say.
It is very hard to say.
Hard to say.
It's true, right by that Kia Sorento. Man, he could have got a rebuilt title had it landed on his car.
Oh man.
It'd be funny if there was like some workers like, remember that thing we dropped off when it was raining the other day? It's on the news, man. People think it flew through the sky. These dumb fuckers. We dropped that thing off.
We just left it there. Oh man.
I think it fell off our trailer, Bill. I seen it on the news.
I seen it.
Oh shit, it fell off?
Oh man. Jeez. Yeah. All right. I guess that's it.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. Email us at ourtakepod@gmail.com. Find us at the Our Take Pod on Facebook, Instagram, but mainly TikTok, where you can go guess on the secret sound and get some podcast swag.
Yep.
So send us any of your secret sounds, though, to our email or whatever you want to tell us. We'd love to hear from you. For episode 154 of the Our Take Podcast, I'm Brian.
I'm Spencer. See you next time.